Hello, Xbox Ahoy here with episode 19 of my Modern Warfare 2 weapon guides. It's time for the MG4, the third available light machine gun. Like all the LMGs, it's a fully automatic weapon. It's unlocked at level 16. It's a German weapon, manufactured by Heckler and Koch. Designed during the late 1990s, and it was adopted by the Bundeswehr in 2005. It fires the intermediate 5.56mm NATO cartridge, just like the M16 and its variants. Although as a belt-fed weapon, the MG4 is designed for support roles and more sustained fire. In-game, the MG4 is one of the lower-powered LMGs, dealing 30 damage per shot at all ranges, the same as the M240. It does, however, boast very low recoil. The MG4 is capable of putting rounds on a target even when firing full auto. Unfortunately, the MG4 is marred by a couple of faults in-game. The silencer available doesn't function correctly, and worse still, the iron sights are misaligned. The actual point of impact is somewhere near the bottom of the central front post rather than the tip. Because of this, the optical attachments are a very sensible choice with the MG4. You can compensate without, but even knowing the approximate offset, it's difficult to land shots accurately at long range. The red dot sight is the first unlock, and is a massive improvement over the iron sights, as you can be sure bullets will go precisely where the red dot is. The red dot suits middle distance engagements best, and if you are in a good firing position will be effective out to long range as well. The holographic is very similar, giving you the precision needed at middle to long ranges and providing a good sight picture, enabling you to stay on target. The red dot and holographic are the most versatile of the optics and would suit a more mobile, aggressive support role. If you're a defensive player and like to stay near longer firing avenues, the ACOG would be a great choice instead. The low recoil of the MG4 means staying on target is relatively simple, and even fully automatic fire can be controlled while scoped in. The thermal scope can be equally useful, but you will be vulnerable up close, so you'll need to find a very good location to lock down. I prefer a more aggressive approach with the MG4, but certain tactics and game styles do benefit from a defensive playstyle, something which the LMGs do adapt to very well. I'd recommend a good close-quarter sidearm if you're going to use the thermal, alongside claymores to protect your rear and flank. Unfortunately, if you want to use one of the non-optical attachments, you have to either use the misaligned iron sights, or sacrifice your first perk for bling. Fortunately, you get plenty of ammunition with the MG4. 200 rounds, so scavenger isn't essential. Reloads are few and far between too, so sleight of hand isn't needed if you plan your reloads carefully. Bling is a viable option, and coupling an optical attachment with a grip will reduce the MG4's recoil to an even more manageable level. The grip isn't essential, but it will help at longer range, narrowing your cone of fire and ensuring more shots connect. The grip with the ACOG is a particularly good option for larger maps, allowing you to unleash continuous, accurate fire across narrow choke points and open spaces. The same is true with the red dot and holographic sights too. The grip makes the MG4 just as controllable as the best available assault rifles. FMJ is always a good attachment to use, and this is definitely the case with the LMGs. Couple an optic with FMJ and you'll have a weapon that will cut through walls and help finish off unseen enemies. The red dot or holographic would be well suited to FMJ, and this combination makes a great fire support class, capable of denying the enemy movement through choke points and aggressively containing enemies in the spawn lock. FMJ on the MG4 is also subject to another glitch. The weapon pickup text will read MG4 explosive rounds when FMJ is used. This does not make the MG4 any more powerful, nor does it grant splash damage. FMJ on the MG4 is the same as FMJ on any other gun, it's just labelled incorrectly. Compared to FMJ and the grip, the other non-optical attachments pale into insignificance, but can be of use in certain situations. The heartbeat sensor is available and works as you'd expect. Useful for some game modes, but largely thwarted by Ninja. Extended magazines remove the need for a reload by giving you 200 rounds per belt, but it takes up a valuable attachment slot better filled by more useful attachments. The silencer is worse than useless. Due to a glitch in-game, it does not provide the normal benefits of a silencer, meaning that you will appear as a red dot when you fire. In addition to this, it reduces the MG4's damage from 30 to 20 at all ranges, meaning you'll need one more bullet to kill with no advantage in return. In short, you want your optic of choice on the MG4, which will be the red dot or holographic for most. Bling is a very viable option, and I'd recommend a sight paired with either the grip or FMJ for the MG4. To be most effective with the MG4, you need to fire from a stationary position, ideally from behind cover or while prone. Good awareness of where the enemy is spawning and their likely movement should help you set up a firing position ahead of them, where you should have no trouble in taking them out. In a more aggressive role, you can push towards the enemy, and if you can flank them or take them by surprise, you may be able to take out an entire group. Hold your ground, and if you're in a good position, you may even be able to repel their counterattack, as they attempt to score a revenge kill. Don't linger too long in one position, however, as the more people you kill, the more who will be out for revenge. You can expect a barrage of grenades and explosives to come your way if the enemy suspect you're still out of position. The MG4 is probably one of the few instances where I'd recommend Bling for your blue perk. The combination of the optics with the grip or FMJ is too good to pass up. If you opt for just an optical attachment, sleight of hand is a good choice to speed up the reload, as otherwise you'll have to endure one of the slowest reloads in the game. If the iron sights were aligned, I'd recommend sleight of hand with FMJ or the grip, but as it stands, you will end up missing your target all too often. The MG4 doesn't have as high damage as some of the other LMGs, so I'd recommend stopping power for your red perk. The MG4 has flat damage. It will be a 3-hit kill at any range with stopping power, and 4 hits without. For your yellow perk, I'd go for sitrep, especially if you're using FMJ. Stealth is not the MG4's strongest suit, and ideally you'll keep your distance from the enemy where possible, so ninja isn't as useful. The red outline of claymores will indicate enemy positions, and, if you're lucky, you can shoot the claymore through the wall and potentially score a free kill. The MG4 is an underused and underrated weapon, derided for having low damage and inaccurate iron sights. However, the optical attachments remedy the sighting issue, and if you use the MG4 primarily at long range, you'll find it kills as quickly as the Scar H or AK-47 would. There's no other LMG more precise at long range than the MG4. And this lack of recoil means the MG4 really is the equivalent of the ACR in the LMG category. The flat damage means close-range encounters might leave you outclassed, but if you play to the MG4's strength by adopting good firing positions and predicting enemy movements, you'll do very well. It's not without its flaws, but they are easily avoided or countered. With the right setup, the MG4 is more than capable of eliminating entire groups of enemies and ultimately winning matches. Thanks for watching. This has been Xbox Ahoy. Join me next time when I'll be covering the third shotgun, the Striker. Farewell for now.